Hello. Ooh. Hello. And welcome. I want to show you something. Oh, Casper, sit up. Cat's gonna do what the cat wants to do. Okay, hello, and welcome to today. Surfing the website is. Oh, it's not gonna be in focus. Okay. Today's slapdash. I am lagging. Am I lagging on YouTube? It says I'm lagging. I have no way to tell. And so let's just keep going. Okay. I'm going to start today with a quote. Yes. So because I think right now that the time that we're in feels like a really sad one or like a regressive time, I wanted to quote this Jean-Paul Sartre quote. There may be more beautiful times, but this one is ours. And I think that's kind of my feeling about right now. I've been hesitant to be around a lot of people the last X amount of time, because for a really long time I was letting the way that the world is determine what I thought was possible in the world. And a lot of people will echo that to you. Like, I got a haircut today, and the hair cutter person, hairdresser, was like, I just said this like thing about how hard it is. And like, I find that it must have probably been hard in every single time. And the beauty about the time that you're in is it is the time for you. There's no other time that's better for you. You belong here right now. When I was little, I saw Harold and Maude, and I saw all these movies from the 70s that made me feel like I was born to the wrong time period. And that was like a very Tumblr thing to, I don't remember. I remember like on my Tumblr, I was born into the wrong period. This period's not for me. And I think I took that to heart for a long time, because I really did believe that I was born in the wrong time period. But I mean, in the last 5 years, I think I've found a lot more positive things to follow. I'm going slow so they can catch up to me. Man, give me a second. I want to figure this out. You can look with me. I don't know what that's gonna do. Boop. Okay. Also, this is my cute little browser. This is how I have my browser set up. So I have this little waterfall, which makes me feel calm. And then instead of having like all the links you clicked come up, you can change the background. You can change it on your phone. You can change it a lot of places. And I think it's good to have a blank slate before getting into the internet. And I know I haven't done the show opener yet, but I do need to figure out if I'm streaming or not. Hold on. I'm super new to this. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate you being here. Let's go back. Let's go to this. Okay, I'm gonna set you there for a minute. You can watch the fish tank. I'm just gonna log into my YouTube. I'm just gonna casually at the beginning of the episode take 5 minutes to learn. Well, so I've been streaming. I've been streaming all week. This is my fourth day doing it. I was supposed to take today off, but that this empty day was for me because I knew that I'd mess up on one days and have to redo it, and I did, and I've done. I see that it says I'm live. I'm gonna trust it. I'm going in with full trust. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so here we go. Back to the beginning. So today's opening is really cool because I'm going to try to lower my Spectrum bill. But I'm not actually, because I started this stream late. But one of my goals is to lower my Spectrum bill. And I won't do it on camera right now, but in the past, whenever I have needed to, like, I think it's really good to reassess your finances and be like, what am I overpaying for? Because we're such, like, indebted with different subscription fees. And one thing I've been learning is that Spectrum, where I live, is overcharging people. Can you believe it? So I'm going to try to get them to lower it because I've gotten a lot of competitors things saying that I could get it for much, much, much less than I pay now. And once you start getting those, you know there's options. Because I thought there was just Spectrum. I thought I only had one option. I don't. But that's for another time. So we're skipping that. Yeah, we are skipping that. Okay, so I don't know how loud that was. This week is in honor of our great economy and the Black Friday Cyber Monday deals. I am streaming live programming in honor of this, and I'm calling it a Techno Scream event. As consumers online, we have a big responsibility having to click so many links and be on our best behavior while we're tracked from here to Kingdom Come. This series explores how we got here and ways to switch it up to feel less like an automaton and more like a modern princess or prince who knows their worth. I'll be posting more updates throughout the week. Thanks for tuning in. Today's stream will be an exploration of surfing the internet sideways. We will begin with a ritualistic dance for using to dispel computer harm. So I'm gonna have to turn the camera for this dance, but we'll start seated. And let's see if I can get the lyrics of the dance to come up next to it. Okay, so you guys all know the old adage, stop, don't touch me there. This is my no-no square. So you probably do. React in the chat if you know that song. Perfect. I got like 1,000 reactions. Okay, so but this is a tune-up to that, and this is hey, don't look through my screen. I'm not just another jelly bean. My privacy matters. So stop creeping on me. You creeping on me. Hey, don't look through my screen. I'm not just another jelly bean. You creeping on me. You creeping me out. Okay, that's gonna be it. So we're gonna go over there, and I'm gonna do the dance. Is there anything we need before we start? No. Okay. Well, there's one thing I need. Here we go. I think you'll be able to hear me. I'm gonna move the microphone close. As close as I can get her. Yes. Okay, but I'll be able to, okay, we're gonna like turn off. Turn it off. Turn it off. Okay. I have to look at this screen. Okay. So the old dance was stop. Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square. And this new one's gonna be, hey, don't look through my screen. I gotta get the thing. Hey, don't look through my screen. I'm not just another jelly bean. Hey, don't look through my screen. I'm not just another jelly bean. Hey, don't look through my screen. I'm not just another jelly bean. My privacy matters. You creeping on me. You creep me out. Hey, don't look through my screen. I'm not just another jelly bean. You creeping on me. You creeping on me. Okay, so I think we'll break down the stance. I'm making it up right now. We're gonna write the dance down. Isn't that what they do in dance? Okay, so we've got, hey, don't look through my screen. Hey, and the hey's the same. Hey, don't look through my screen. Don't look through my screen. And like I'm saying, this is a spell. This is a spell to dispel trackers. Hey, don't look through my screen. What if we do, hey, don't look through my screen. Yeah. Hey, don't look through my screen. And then I think they move like this, or they come together and they come out. Go to the hips. So it's going to be like, hey, don't look through my screen. I'm not just another jelly bean. Hey, don't look through my screen. I'm not just another jelly bean. And then jelly bean has to have a jelly bean. Jelly bean. Because you know people count their beans. And they count people they can spy on. That's what. So, hey. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, don't look through my screen. I'm not just another jelly bean. Mm-hmm. I never said I was gonna be good at this. You creeping on me. You creeping on me. Hey, hey, don't look through my screen. I'm not just another jelly bean. You creeping on me. You creeping on me. Hey, don't look through my screen. I'm not just another jelly bean. You creeping on me. You creeping on me. And then the end of the dance, because it's got to get back up, because you got to tell them to get away. That's the final part where you collect all the trackers and you go off. So you go off with your heads. Off with your heads. And you're talking about the proverbial head of the spying mechanism. Off with your heads. Okay, so hey, don't look through my screen. I'm not just another jelly bean. You creeping on me. You creeping on me. Hey, off with your heads. Hey, off with your heads. Bye. And that's the whole thing. And if you do that every time you get on your computer, psychically, there will be no trackers. Thank you. Bye. You creeping on me. Okay. That was really good. I'm getting an incoming message. Yes, that did work. Thank you. Thanks. Thanks. I don't like trackers either. Okay. So Monday I covered the serfdom that was created during the feudal era. And I believe that ever since the feudal era, we have been living in the shadow of this like insane shit that went down during those times. So I covered that. And today, what I want to talk about is surfing the internet sideways after you have adequate protection, spiritual protection, of course. So, in prep for tomorrow, which is the last day of my stream, I'm going to surf the internet sideways to look for some research for that episode. You creeping on me. So, let's get into it. Oh my god, that was loud. A lady must never be loud. A lady must be quiet, like a mouse in the church. Hold on. You creeping on me. You creeping on me. Yes. So I don't know if this is special or this is just what everyone does and I named it something, but I like to surf the internet sideways. I just think that's my favorite way to go about it. And what that means is I follow a lot of hyperlinks clicking all throughout, and that's like how I found some of my favorite things. I feel like if you stay in one platform, you don't get, well, one, your brain gets muddled. If I follow the link, to say I found something about something that fascinated me, like one thing that I'll use is that, well, what are the two things I want to research? I want to research first Garrett Morgan. Garrett Morgan is the creator of the stoplight, and I wanted to know a little bit more about him, and I wanted to know about other people like him, so I could start there and see where that takes me. I'm gonna do him for a little bit, and then I have to find a way to connect him to women's programming work and then women's editing work. I think so. I have to also research women's women as editors in the motion picture industry, and women as early programmers, early computer programmers, because those are two jobs that were I found out through clicking that women did those jobs at first. But I think the whole highlight, because this whole week's about labor, is just to talk about who labors where and how that gets replaced over and over again through history. On Monday, we talked about how women were the original brewers of ale in the feudal times and prior. And they used to put a broomstick on their door, or like in the drawing, it was hung really weird. But it used to mean like this house has ale, and that was fascinating to me. And one thing I want to research more from that is like how did that create the visual of witches of the like this pagan practice of women brewing ale being replaced during like industrialization of beer brewing. Very interesting. So, but we're gonna start with Garrett Morgan. Let's go. Oops, that's the wrong one. No, that's not the wrong one. And then I have to open this. I'm learning. Every day you learn. Every day you know some more. Okay. Garrett Morgan. Garrett Morgan was an American inventor and entrepreneur. What did Garrett Morgan do? He is the inventor of a type of three-way traffic light invented in 1923. So I wanted to look up who created the stoplight because recently in Los Angeles, a lot of the stoplights have been out. And, oh my god, what is it showing you? Alright, just calm down. So, I found out that the stoplight was invented by a black man. And no one told me that in school. And his story is not shared, so I'm sharing it. Okay. So he was also the inventor of a smoke hood that he notably used in a 1916 tunnel construction disaster rescue, was not credited for that, and also created the traffic light. So surfing the web sideways could also be called opening 1,000 tabs. Traffic lights, also known as robots in South Africa, Zambia, signaling devices positioned at road intersections. Yes. So the traffic conductors in LA, I wish I had a video to show you of them. I wonder if I can get better at this. Are you looking at traffic light too? Okay. Okay, I love that they're called robots in other places. Anyway, they're fluid as hell. These traffic conductors, it must be a job to traffic conduct. So first of all, I want to know, was that was obviously the role of a person before they were introduced. It says that they were first introduced in 1868 in London to reduce the need for police officers. Always. Since then, electricity and computerized control have advanced. Sure. Semaphore. So I guess I'm also showing you how I like to learn. You probably do similar stuff. Probably do. Okay, a semaphore is an apparatus to create a visual signal transmitted over a distance. Oh, that's cool. So flags are the original sunlight and moving arms. Semaphores can be used for telegraphy. Okay, so I guess you could think a lighthouse is a semaphore. Oh, like the bat signal. The bat signal is a semaphore. And flags! This is the alphabet of flags? A, B, C, D, E, F. Huh. Download. So I want to leave a paper trail for myself so I don't get a heliograph, moving arms, Napoleonic semaphore line. Wow. In the Napoleonic era, stations were constructed to send and receive messages using this Napoleonic semaphore. This form of visual communication was so effective that the messages that took days could now be transmitted in mere hours. Oh, I see. Decline? It doesn't mention this guy in here. You're gonna talk about the three-way stoplight? Oh, because it's about just this concept. So that makes sense. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so they were using this. Cool. So he started in 1923. So in 1922, traffic towers were being done by timers. And New York City was able to reassign all but 500 of its 6,000 officers working on the traffic squad, saving the city of money. There he is. And to the design of manually operated three-way with moving arms. What did his look like? No. What did his look like? It used to be all the rage to patent something. Big. Big. pig. Cool. Hey. Okay, let me move it. Great. Oh, wow. So it said stop when it needed to. And then there were 3 ways, and they could be pushed down. Pulled down. Oh. So he filed for it in 1922. He has beautiful handwriting. Stop. I was curious if it would show us what the go looked like. Okay, and there's a bell on top. Okay, so let's go back to Garrett. Let's keep reading. He also had other businesses. And he was born in Paris, Kentucky. Which I thought was interesting because it's the Stoner Fork of the Licking River. I'm gonna have to close these tabs for stream. I was curious about where he lived. Okay, so it's a little dot right in there. Okay. It was exclusively African American community. His father was a freed slave of John Morgan of Morgan's Raiders. His mother was also a free slave, part Native American. 7th of 11 children. So he was born in 1877. That's crazy. Did it say that about, is it still, doesn't say, let's see, settled the station, 1776, so we're looking for 100 years later. Doesn't say anything about that. Or graphics. Missing information. Okay, but he left there and he went to Cincinnati. Like many African American children growing up during the turn of the century, he had to quit school at a young age to work full time. But he hired a tutor and continued his studies while working. He began to repair sewing machines for a clothing manufacturer. This experience sparked his interest in how things worked, and he built a reputation for fixing them. He also invented a zigzag attachment for sewing machines. And in 1907, he opened a sewing machine shop. Wow. So how old? I'm not a math. In 1908, more conscious of his heritage, he helped to start the Cleveland Association of Colored Men. In 1909, he and his second wife, Czech immigrant Mary Ann Hasek, opened Morgan's Cut Rate ladies' clothing store. They made coats, suits, dresses, and other clothing, and they had 32 employees. Around 1910, his interest in repairing other people's inventions waned, and he became interested in developing some of his own. His first patent was in 1912. So 10 years later, he's going to do the stoplight. Hair care products. Hair refining. Sold hair care products included his patent hair straightening cream, hair coloring, and hair straightening comb. And he did this smoke hood. And he launched a national safety device campaign. Wow. Cool. So that's cool that his background in textiles, it seems like he was able to like think of something through sewing too. And he rescued workers trapped in a water intake tunnel beneath Lake Erie, using the smoke hood to protect his eyes from the smoke, featuring a series of air tubes. Wow. Oh. In 1923, Morgan designed a traffic signal after witnessing a horrible car crash at an intersection. His manually operated design included moving arms to feature signals for go and stop. And he eventually sold the rights to General Electric for $40,000. He seems really driven by caring about other people and caring about where he comes from. Let's keep going. Well, I don't want to pass anything, but he conducted experiments with a liquid that gave sewing machine needles a high polish. What would that liquid be? Interesting. So he became well known in Cleveland, and he achieved financial success. And he got a car. And then because he got that car, he witnessed an accident. Oh my god, a horse-drawn carriage and a car. So then that's why he made this, and that's why he sold it. I don't know what $40,000 was in this time. And then he invented the smoke hood. Moist sponge to filter out. Advantage of the way smoke and fumes rise high. Tubes. Hi. Uh-huh. So he started to do this, adopted the disguise of Big Chief Mason. Wait, I'm sorry. I have to go back. So he founded a company to market it, and he was able to sell it using his tactic of hiring a white actor who would take credit. That sucks. Why did he... Let's see. Who Made America? Whoa, the gas mask looks different than I thought. So he was unable to sell this gas mask. And he hired an actor friend. And this actor would announce that Big Chief Mason would go inside a smoke-filled tent for 10 minutes. And he would come out 25. Let's read this history. Well, I think we should finish reading this history for a second because there's something that I want you to see that I thought was cool. Here it is. Okay, I was on this website. I was on this page a little earlier and happened to see. In 1916, his invention became known nationally when he led a rescue that saved several men's lives. So there had already been 2 attempts at rescue, and those people needed to be rescued now. And he was roused in the middle of the night after one of the members of the rescue team had seen the demonstration and sent a messenger. He and his bro, Frank, so his brother lived in town, arrived on the scene wearing their pajamas. And they were skeptical, and he was like, it works. And he brought a victim out on his back. And then they received all of the bodies. And he personally made 4 trips, and his health was affected for years afterward from the fumes he did encounter there. Where was this? This was a waterworks tunnel explosion. Okay, so let's open that up and take a look. So this is what was effed beyond belief. Cleveland newspapers and city's officials ignored his act of heroism as the first to rush into the tunnel and the key role he played as the man who made it as the guy who brought the equipment. And it took years for the city to recognize his contributions. And the mayor, Harry Butt, failed to put Garrett's name on the list of recommended heroes. City officials requested that the Carnegie Hero Fund Commission issue medals to several of the men involved in the rescue, but excluded Morgan from the request. Morgan believed that the omission was racially motivated. His suspicions were confirmed by Victor M. Sincere of the Bailey Company in his statement to the Citizens Award Committee. Your deed should serve to help break down the shafts of prejudice with which you struggle, and is sure to be the beacon of light for those that follow you in the battles of life. What is that supposed to mean? In 1917, a group of Cleveland citizens tried to correct the omission by presenting him with a diamond-studded gold medal. After the heroic rescue, Morgan's company received more order requests from the fire departments all over the country. However, the national news contained photographs of him, and officials in a number of southern cities canceled the orders when they discovered he was black. Morgan said in his diary, I had but a little schooling, but I am a graduate from the School of Hard Knocks and Cruel Treatment. I have personally saved 9 lives. He was eventually given a medal from the International Association of Fire Engineers. That is effed up. Let's keep going. Let's look at this. 22 men killed under Lake Erie. Let's see if they mention him. A 3rd rescue party entered the tunnel. They mention who they saved. They talk about the explosion itself. Okay, they talk about the guy who didn't do it, who was roused from his bed, Van Duzen. So yeah, they just ignore him. It says, rescuers with oxygen helmets at 10 a.m. had brought 8 bodies from the tunnel. I think that's a different article. That's it. It's interesting to see like old newspapers. Let's go over here for a second. Okay. I'm just gonna look at this for a second to see. I mean, sucks. Though he only had a sixth grade education, he had a mechanical genius and an entrepreneurial bent. Finding work in a textile factory, he learned how the machines worked and became the only Negro adjuster fixing and improving mechanical problems. In 1907, he opened his own shop with his wife. It was an era of difficulty for African Americans, but Morgan made money, becoming the first black man in Cleveland to own a car. He branched out into cosmetic projects, joined a new organization called the NAACP, and soon was donating money to Negro colleges. In 1920, he started a newspaper. What year is this from? They Made America. Interesting. I'm just reading. I don't know how good this is for streaming, but thanks for tuning in. Cleveland's newspapers and city officials wrote him out of the story. Yep. It would take years. That's all it said. Who's just curious? Surfing sideways. Okay. Surfing sideways. Surfing sideways. Surfing backwards. Oh. Hold on, I want to try something. Because I'm doing this. I'm like right off screen. What if I move my setup right here? Then we play together. Yeah. Okay, the maker of machine guns. A knack for invention. Yes, a legacy of death. Wow, this guy super different from this guy. These are just couldn't be further apart, really. I wonder how they decided on these people. A lady. She consolidated manufacturing. Oh my god, wait, is that not a lady? E. Give me this picture. What is her name? Frances Cabot Lowell. Lowell. You could see why I thought it was a lady. If it's Frances. Got key. What? All right. Okay, so that was really what I was interested about Garrett. I wanted you to see that story because it's effed. And then I wanted to go down here. Yeah, I want to go here. I'm going here. African American inventors. So many of them. I clicked on one named Valerie. She's beautiful. A data scientist and inventor, she invented the illusion transmitter, for which she received a patent in 1980. She was responsible for developing digital media formats, that image processing system used in the early years of NASA's Landsat program. What is an illusion transmitter? Parabolic mirrors to transmit 3D illusions of an object. Wow. She wanted to send three-dimensional images across a distance, making them look as if they were in front of the mirror. Wow. This is it? That's all you're going to tell me about her? Okay, she's intelligent. And she started at She worked at NASA. She developed real-time computer data systems to support satellite. And did. Oh. Have been depicted in a children's fictional book, television, and in video game. She worked her whole life at NASA. I'm sorry, I'm never that interested in space. But I do think that the image translator sounds sick. And the fact that she worked there her whole life. Okay. I wonder if I could click my way to where American woman scientist. Here we go. Wait, what happens if I click American data scientist? Interesting. Information. I don't want to spend the whole time on Wikipedia. So something I also wanted to, oh my god. I wish I had clicked that thing that said, why am I seeing this? Okay, so I explored that, and I wanted to explore women's work programming. But I've always been interested that women were the first editors because it was considered busy, like laborious work because you had to go through so much like physical film. So in 1926, the Los Angeles Times informed readers that one of the most important positions in the motion picture industry is held almost entirely by women, whose job it was to assemble thousands of feet of film so that it tells an interesting story in the most straightforward manner. They always say that making a film happens 3 times, and the 3rd time is in the edit. So the word editor was used to just be like the whole process. For instance, 24-year-old Winifred Dunn became an editor for Metro in 1923, but she was only minimally involved in film. Instead, she pulled story proposals, reshaped novels and plays into film scripts, and wrote intertitles. Unlike film cutters, the women who worked as scenario editors, Dunn, Hetty Gray Baker, and Catherine Hilliker, were often college educated and worked in journalism or theater before arriving in Hollywood. They also figured more prominently into publicity about the budding film industry than did film cutters. So you're going from like the story person versus the like physical editor. Oh my god. Oh my god. Look at this. Yeah, so I think what I want to know is, when did it stop being primarily women and why? So the transition to sound happened. And we're at MGM in 1969. The transition to sound presented a particular challenge to Booth and other cutters accustomed to working with silent film. Silent film gave cutters a fair amount of flexibility in selecting and juxtaposing things. Okay, so that's one. So it's the transition to sound. Not at the least of Booth's worries, however, were the new experts, the men in the studio's effects department from RCA or Western Electric, who interfered with the editing of early sound films. Decades later, Booth remained resentful of all their interference, complaining that sound was their background and they all knew everything and they didn't know a damn thing, but they knew everything. Okay, so that's the time that it was transitioned. Usually, what I've been reading is that women are kicked out of the job that they helped form when there's a transition, when it becomes more specialized and too specialized for them to be able to understand. But this is just talking about like how it ended. And then a new crop of women. We already talked about some of these women. Hey, that was cool. Oh. That's a sick photo. I love this photo. In 1923, women owned the majority of independent film production companies in the United States. So I guess something that I like about searching sideways is like I could go click whatever it told me to click there, but a lot of times if you go to images, you'll get something that didn't get paid as much to show you just because images don't work exactly the same. So I really like to click around through here and then click links like that. Just saying. Just saying. In the 1920s, women were actively being pushed out of every sector in Hollywood. Let's see. Yeah, they hung on to editing jobs. Okay, I didn't know that. I'm not going there. Originally, movies were made by filming in one shot, with the camera continuously rolling. When directors began filming multiple shots for a scene, they needed staff to cut out the best shots. Editing called for long hours of detailed handiwork. The job was considered unskilled because they hand cranked film onto reels, used scissors to manually cut the footage, and then glued strips together. When sound was introduced to moving pictures, men decided editing both sound and film would be too complex for women to handle. Oh my god, is this a quote? These are some great photos. Cutting sound is so hard. Let's get the men to do it. Many of the first sound films were edited by women. Produced through Pickford through Pickfair Production. Founded in 1990. Yeah, Mary Pickford is kind of like the bastion of like early women filmmakers. One of the reasons they've been forgotten is because of the nature of their work. The invisibility of editors, whether male or female, in contrast to the attention paid to writers, directors, cinematographers, and composers, has been unwarranted and unjust. It's time to stop imagining that it's really a director who does the editing. Stop imagining that. Interesting. I was taught or must have heard that as it became a more important job, men started to get in on it. oh, it's just a background job, they let women do it. But when people realized how interesting and creative editing could be, then the men elbowed the women out of the way and kind of took over. That's exactly what happened. Whatever. Okay, so that's something that I want to connect to early programmers, but the stream has been an hour and I'm not going to keep going into it. I hope this was helpful to you. I want to read another quote by Jodorowsky, which is, "Birds born in a cage think flying is an illness." Let's go back to the main camera. Oh my god, I'm showing you nothing. That's okay. Go to the wide. Okay, so thank you for tuning in. I'm still figuring out how to stream, but it's been a pleasure. Tomorrow is going to be a different kind of thing. I'm going to do a little bit more personal work. Yeah, tomorrow, hold on, I'm reading from a quote. My other camera died. Tomorrow is my last streaming day to write out this Techno Scream out strong. I'll be using today's research mixed with some stories I've already written for tomorrow, so it will be a bit different than today and closer to how Monday was if you were with me during then. Tomorrow's episode is called A Woman Edited Goodfellas, A Black Man Created the Stoplight, and My Dad Worked at IBM, and 10 Reasons Why I'm Grateful for Up 4. Each episode, or the best parts, will make it up onto my YouTube after the streams, and in the meantime, thank you for dropping by. I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye, friends and family. Also, this live stream has been a production of Finest Impulse LLC. Thanks, guys.